It is Dom time. All right, the start of a nice full week here together with a lot of great people stopping by. At 12:30, we're going to talk with Scott Presler. If you're a talk radio listener, you know who Presler is. One of these guys who's had really good success at knocking on doors, mail-in ballots all over the country. On his Twitter, he's got, take a look at the RNC. They only have $9 million in the bank. That is chump change. Democrats have 2 or 3 times the DNC. Wouldn't a guy like this be better suited? Why do we always end up with the Ronna McDaniel, Romneys, whatever it is? And even President Trump had a hand in that. Harmeet Dillon, I bet, would have $20 million there. That's just one metric. And the Pennsylvania people with the mail-in ballot stuff at the state level, they're not any better. So Scott Presler coming here, if you've not seen him, he's the guy that started with cleanups originally, now has morphed into this traveling, enthusiastic training people. And the goal, now it's 10th and Venango. I know Broad and Venango. I don't know 10th. See, each block you go down in my memory away from Broad, in that area, it could be problematic. So he bills it'll be here 12:30 as training and also knocking on doors that no Republican has knocked on. And I think that's right. You probably have to go back 60 or 70 years that anybody's saying, hey, good afternoon at 10th and Vendango. I'm here to tell you about Donald Trump. I'm not sure of the pitch, Dan. I'm going to ask him the exact pitch. What do you say when you knock on the door? I'm here to tell you about the American dream. Oh, man. I know it's your birthday weekend, so you can't attend. One of your predecessors who was pretty good kind of failed on this one, Mr. Vizo, who when I started doing 9 to noon was pretty good. We were trying to get some reaction to this kid being shot who was stayed in an apartment complex 5 or 6 blocks from Temple. And I knocked on the next door because the woman there had give commentary and was kind of outspoken and differing with me. Mr. Vizo headed for the car. I mean, the door had all kinds of barriers on it by the time she got to the door. I didn't want to stay there more than 10 minutes, but I got the cut. Then I got out of Dodge. So it'll be interesting to see what Scott Presler does exactly. We'll give you all the details at 12:30. But this is the type of guy who ought to be given resources versus Democrats are killing us in that. And you could say, well, why does that matter? Look at Joe Biden. Look how bad it is. Look, here's why it matters. Stop it already. It's about one thing, winning. The Eagles won pretty ugly yesterday, in my view. They were at one point 125, 150 yards down in yards gained, but that's not the stat. It's about winning in the end. And they did it, and they looked pretty dominant toward the end, to put it mildly. And that's without Lane Johnson. Anytime Lane Johnson's not there, I'm like, oh, man, turnstile. You know what it is in sports? If they think they can beat you. So Lane Johnson, they know they can't beat. The guy is almost impossible. He's really a left tackle, which is the prime position playing right tackle. He's probably one of the 5 or 6 best right tackles of all time. He's out of position. He should be playing the bigger position. But why spoil success? So if you're Driscoll coming in, they think immediately a drop-off, and they're energized by that, and they think they're going to beat you, and if they think it enough and confident enough, it becomes like a turnstile. And I think that's what was happening in the first half, among other things. But are they a team of destiny? You got to believe it when you look at the last 4 wins and the fact they really haven't done much. They haven't played their best ball at all. And actually, by some metrics, were outplayed, and yet they're winning and feeling pretty confident about doing it. Now, this game this weekend, oh, man.
I don't know if I hate fans more than 49ers fans right now.
Well,
They were saying some really, really,
Yeah, well,
vile stuff on Reddit, the Reddit game thread, and they were
yeah.
talking so much trash, and
Yeah, well, they
they
have to
hate us.
realize they're coming here to play. My God.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw this one Eagles fan yesterday. There was a giant, it had to be a flag of buffalo, and it's pitched into the ground and it goes up maybe 40 feet like a javelin.
Yeah.
He takes it, runs it, and throws it over into almost the stadium area. We're not allowed without a ticket.
Yeah, like, lands on top of the, parking,
Yeah, it lands on top of the parking thing.
yeah, parking booth.
This huge.
Did you see the young kid? It looked like he was
Yeah,
probably about 10 years old, walking
I
with his parents, passes a
yeah.
Bills fan, and holds out a hand to shake his hand, and then pulls it back and holds up the
Yeah,
middle
now
finger in his
see,
face.
that kid, not that I'm gonna say deserves to be smacked, but come on.
Oh, come on.
No, that's ridiculous with a
It's
10-year-old
fine.
kid. No,
The
it's
Bills
not.
fan had fun with it too. He looked like he was laughing about it.
God, all right. All right. Yeah, yeah, right, till he slaps the kid. All right, we got a lot going on. So that's one thing that we have coming up. Also, we have a lot going on with voting machines. Northampton County. We got the Republican coming on, but Republicans and Democrats both agree the system they're using does not work effectively. And they've tried all kinds of things, meaning the company. Now, if they don't fire this company and get rid of this, I predict right here and right now, you're going to see Northampton County in the news come 2024. If people are serious, and Al Schmidt, the fake Republican, is not, they should move heaven and earth whenever any problem surfaces, as it did this time around in 2023, to clean it up. And I mean draconian action. It's worth the money. Pay them off and get a company that can effectively have a voting machine. If you don't, and we have a cut to, I didn't get to play it on Friday, the Biden economy. Everybody out there knows it's not Biden per se, his age, his mental incapability and all. Yeah, that's all there. The thing that people are saying that the Biden people refuse to answer because they did it and they can't answer is inflation and how it's affecting the average American. They can come up with all the macro looks and all their charts and graphs. Why don't you see this? Because people know in their own lives what has happened to them and they don't like it. Now, I don't know about you, Dan, with Maisie, but I must have told Ro is usually pretty good about this, but she just goes, stop it. The instant we're in a supermarket and I see something and I go, Biden, and start up.
Yeah.
And if we're in a car, she can't get out. I talk about it endlessly. He caused it. He has set this whole thing loose. Here is a commentary, an interview that was done with Josh Shapiro. Now, you got to realize Josh Shapiro is the great masquerader. His take now that he's putting into the ear of the Biden people to say is people are in a fog now. They're not paying attention. Hey, Josh, they are paying attention, buddy, to their everyday life, and they don't like it. They're not just, they'll pay attention when the election comes. What he's really trying to say, Dan, but he's a little bit more clever. He's trying to say once it's Trump and Biden, they don't like Trump. But he's trying to massage the economy. Here's a little bit of the NBC interview or the commentary on it with Josh Shapiro about why people don't like Joe Biden's economy.
You know, we keep hearing democracy is at risk. Donald Trump is facing 91 different charges. How could he be doing so well, even in the Republican primaries? And we heard from Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, who said he thinks voters just have Trump brain fog, and that's going to clear up closer to election. What do you think about that?
That's a yes and answer to that, Stephanie. I mean, yes, we need to remind voters of what a Trump 2024 reality would look like, what the future of democracy might or might not be in the United States. But at the same time, you know, President Biden needs to go on the offense. He needs to sell what he has done. He needs to go on the offense, in particular, on the issue of the border, because we've already seen
Let's stop
Trump
it there. That's enough there on that. Let's see him go on the offense on the economy. What is he going to tell people when they say to him, I can't afford it? Now, Dan, I'm usually skeptical of this. You cut this up, so we may play a minute or so. This is a mom on TikTok, of all things. Oh, the irony. Talking about having a breakdown, what her economic situation is. She's a nurse. She works part-time cleaning once a week buildings with her husband. The husband is apparently a personal trainer and does some degree of security work. So they have 3.5, 4 jobs between them. And listen to how she breaks it down in dollars and cents. What would Biden say to this woman? You can't say anything to them. You did it. The only thing you can hope is if I were telling them the strategy, you got to not take credit for what you did. You got to say you didn't do anything. You didn't do it. Because if you did it, they don't care about all these grandiose things. They want to know, why are they having so much trouble? It's because of inflation. I listened to the mom and I want to know, well, first of all, Dan, you've heard it already. Are you on board? Does this mom seem legit? Is it a little bit over the top, do you think?
No, I mean my
You
entire generation is suffering through this right now. It's impossible to essentially be an adult.
To this degree. See, I'm trying
Yeah.
to be fair here, whether this would hold up with people. Okay. Here is the mom, the nurse, talking about they get their money, they both get paid, and what happens.
I don't know why I'm making this video, but like I feel like my husband and I are doing everything right. We both have good jobs. I'm a nurse. I'm a registered nurse. I work full time. He works full time. We just got paid this past Friday, right? We paid the mortgage, bought some groceries, put some gas in the car. And guys, it is Tuesday. And we have like $200 or $300 to last us until next Friday. Like, we don't live in a big house. We live in a little ranch. It's 1,100 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, us and our 2 kids. And like, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm in school full time. I work full time. He works more than full time. He works overtime every week. I don't know what to do.
All right. So, Dan, you think that would pass the test with the only people that count are persuadables. People that already see what this maniac has done. Remember, the very first week, we talked about these historians, Meacham and Bashlos and the Scott Wallace guy from Bucks County. He lives on a golf course in South Africa, ran against Fitzpatrick. All these guys whispering in his ear, you're going to be LBJ. You're going to be Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Go big. He went crazy. When you do this, inflation comes in, and it's very hard then to take something and artificially stop it. So he did it. That's what did it, nothing else. What could he possibly say to this woman? Can he mumble something about the Infrastructure Act? Now, I just don't know, though, if this is somebody. If they are, then where are Republicans with recruiting people to be saying stuff like this? This is it. There's no escape from this. A lot of other issues, people might escape from data, even the border may not affect you directly that you can see it. This affects everyone. And it definitively affects people that are in the middle class, particularly middle to lower middle class. It affects them big time. He did it. Now they're trying to say, well, what he has to do is convince people that right around the corner, things are going to turn around. Why would they turn around? Inflation's not going down, just the rate has stilled. That doesn't mean that prices are going to suddenly go down. What would Joe Biden say to these people? What could he possibly say? I know what. Well, Trump has those mean tweets. You don't want a guy like Trump. Christie over the weekend saying anti-Semitism in the country is rampant, coming out of the woodwork. Why? Trump gets away with saying anything he wants. Now the anti-Semites think they will. We'll play that. I just want your reaction to this woman, though. Is this compelling enough? That's why I'm questioning it a little bit. 855-839-1210. I like how specific she was. 1,100 square foot house. That doesn't seem overly large to me. Dan, what's your footage? Do you know?
Probably just about over that.
Okay. I have no idea. At the Palatial Giordano Estates, I'd have to send a team out. Now, I don't even know if it's 1,100 feet. I mean, it's the outside, border to border. All right. So give me your reaction to that. 855-839-1210. Let me give you this side question today. And we thought of this one. A lot of holiday stuff now, post Thanksgiving Day, even though we're not into December. We want today the scene, not the film, but a scene in a holiday film, Christmas holiday film. And if you want to act out a line or so, if it particularly gets you, just don't blurt it out. Explain it. So I'm going to take off the board one of the classics, the classic film. I know it's old, but they only play it once a year. It's A Wonderful Life. The climax, the end scene. My personal favorite in that film, though, they're going to go off on their honeymoon, Jimmy Stewart, Donna Reed, and there's a run on the savings and loan. And Donna Reed jumps in with the honeymoon money, I think $2,000, which is like $1 million in that, and jumps in and puts it on the table. Oh, my God. All right, Dan, what's your scene? Is there a particular scene you like?
Yeah, over the weekend, I posted up on Twitter that Elf is the greatest holiday film of all time, greatest Christmas film of all time. Better than It's a Wonderful Life. Just
there you go. Yes. Yeah.
Like It's a Wonderful Life is a great movie, a great narrative, great story. But it's emotion. It pulls at your emotional heartstrings. But I would one up and say that Elf pulls at the emotional heartstrings, but also gives you some laughs and some very hearty laughs, including when he first comes from the North Pole to New York City, and he's walking around the city trying to figure out what it's like to actually be a human. He goes over to the subway and finds some gum that's on the railing, picks it off, and starts eating it after Santa tells him not to. Just that the entire sequence, the montage of Will Ferrell playing Buddy the Elf coming over to New York City is my answer today.
All right. So hit us with that if you'd like to do the line when it comes in. The line or the scene. We're looking for the scene, and there's got to be at least 25 pretty top, well-known holiday films.
You know what? I'm going to adjust my answer because there's even better scene in Elf. It features former Howard Stern sidekick Artie Lang playing a fake Santa, and Will Ferrell, all excited that Santa is going to be coming to the department store, meets this fake Santa and gets into a fight with him that it gets him fired from it. But it's hilarious just seeing Artie Lang play that Santa.
I know that scene. Yeah, I know the scene that you mean. All right, I'm sticking with It's a Wonderful Life. What a contrast. Ro may have to call in and break this tie today. All right, 855-839-1210. Tell us why, too, though. Just don't say the scene and go, oh, that's a winner. Tell us why. The woman that I played you, is that compelling? Does that seem like the fact checker would come in and say, well, you're spending too much on this. Look at her hair. She looks pretty good in the one photo I've seen. Cut down on the hair products. How much is the husband really doing? That seem over the top, or are Americans, by and large, experiencing this? And this is the number one thing that sets me off with Biden, the selfishness. He was going to be this. And that meant just spend whatever the hell you want, no consequence. This is always the consequence. And it's a killer. People just can't take this. But are they still going to vote for Biden? All right, by the way, today, real bargain, 20% off Cyber Monday here, Dan.
Woo!
Our collector's items. Now, you can get this in either the T-shirt or you can get it in the hoodie. The hoodie looks particularly
the hoodie's
good.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, 20% off. Don't forget on the back, and that's why I didn't wear it today. I didn't want to have the Krasnerland yellow tape piling up. But that Dom time is beautifully put on the front. Nothing says it like Dom time. Should have made the M a lot bigger. Have the M giant so that it stands up there. And the guy would say, I really like your shirt, Don. All right. So at the stations,
You go to breakingT.com/WPHT. That's
Okay.
breaking the letter T.com/WPHT. And yeah, we got a 20% off everything. Cyber Monday, all hoodies, 20% off.
all
Not
right,
everything,
perfect.
sorry.
Makes
Yes.
a great Christmas gift. So act on that today, right now. A lot of merchandise in there ready to roll. Keep Walter Costco, whoever does
I
it,
know a
busy.
couple people I might be getting a Dom Time hoodie for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very
Big
nice.
fans of Krasnerland. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, all right. All right. And you can buy it from Texas, Minnie, if you wish. 855-839-1210. That's how you get in. Is that compelling, hearing that nurse? She's from Pennsylvania. I didn't get the town here. I didn't look that up. Or would people say, no, well, come on, it's her own fault. She's got to be more responsible. What do you mean you only have $200 to last the rest of the week? That's crazy if you're both working full time and you say it's good jobs. What would Biden say to that? Can he completely avoid a presidential campaign? Yeah, that's what the strategy is. And they're continuing to, they're being attacked, the Biden advisors. I understand why they're doing this. They keep saying, oh, these people about age and everything. It's not about that. It's about the economy personally and how it's affecting people. How are you going to get around that? What could you say to people on that? These are not fat cats. All right, coming up, I love this. Merriam-Webster, Dan, has their word of the year. Might be a side question someday. I think we talked
John?
about it. Not John.
Oh,
Not
thank
John
God.
Morgan. Not
Oh.
that guy on the thing. What's your John? 855. What's Joe Biden's John?
I don't wanna know what
855
his John is.
839 1210. Hey, good Monday, everyone. It is Dom time. You got the side question. I want to know, the woman you were hurt. This is the area to drill down to make the case how damaging this is to the average American. And Biden did it. It's his policy. You know, I just want to see this Bob Casey blame corporate America with corporate inflation, or what greedflation he's calling it. Are people going to buy that? Oh, it's a corporation that did this. The corporation spent $5 trillion plus just on a whim for history and all this nonsense and all the. You notice the ads, when the ads, they say, well, we lowered prices on insulin or something. Okay, yeah. What does that have to do with me? And what it has to do with you as the average middle class person like that nurse is you are suffering through this. And there is no way out. He'll do more of it if given the chance. That's what he wants to do. And the people around him controlling, that's what they want to do. All right. The Merriam-Webster word of the day is authentic. authentic. And they do talk in here about people that can fake authenticity, which is, I know, the all-time person that can fake authenticity is Bill Clinton, without a doubt, because I think he believes it himself at a certain point. You know, George Costanzo, if you believe the lie, it's not a lie. You know, as long as you believe it. If you convince yourself to believe it, you do it often enough. So Merriam-Webster says this is what we see in 2023, a kind of crisis of authenticity, that people want somebody who's authentic. Well, do they really, or do they want somebody who can project authenticity? They go on to say the word of the year, the reason that they think people want this more than ever, they're afraid of artificial intelligence. Now, I don't know how artificial intelligence, which is a big threat, gets into authenticity. Taylor Swift and Prince Harry chased after authenticity in their words and deeds. Elon Musk urged the heads of companies, politicians, ministers to speak authentically on social media by running their own accounts. Can we trust whether a student wrote this paper? Can we trust whether a politician made this statement? We don't always trust what we see anymore.
I completely agree with the entry. I think it's a fantastic answer for word of the year. Because first off, we have the online situation on social media where you can't tell whether or not someone's replying to you is indeed an authentic person or if it's a bot.
Well, there is a lot of
So there's
that,
a lot of authenticity. There's a lot of subversion through advertising where, advertising tries to portray itself as genuine or authentic, and it's indeed not. So people do strive for that. And just putting it into the realm of radio, I think the programs that get the most success, the furthest, are those that are authentic or relatable. And I think people strive in today's world to have somebody out there that isn't just a voice repeating the same crap over and over again to try to virtue signal. An authentic individual, I think, is looked at. You look at comedians today, those that we prop up are those that we consider the most authentic.
Is Howard Stern authentic?
No, and I think that's why he's getting
So now
trashed.
he's not authentic.
I think people strive again in 2023 for authenticity, and they see right through Howard. They see through his BS anymore.
I think you used a word I might like better. It's the word that has a lot to do with authenticity, virtue signaling.
Yeah.
I don't know if virtue signaling was ever the thing, but
I think
there's way too much virtue signaling because that's how you shield and protect yourself or get ahead. And that's certainly the antithesis of
and
authenticity.
just think of like regular conversation. Everyone's
Right.
so guarded in conversation right now because they're worried that they're going to say something controversial that pisses somebody off. That it's refreshing. It's really nice to just have an authentic conversation when there aren't walls put up, political walls and such. I think authenticity is really what people are looking for today.
We might have to do that as a side tomorrow then. God knows who people will say is authentic.
It's a great question. Though.
Okay. Yeah, I think we will. Last year it was gaslighting. So you can see where they're going. Those are very, very similar. Other words rounding out the top 10, Riz, which I've never heard of. Romantic appeal or charm. That person has Riz. I think like, I don't know, Travis Kelce. Kibbutz. There was a massive lookup of kibbutz after the attacks on October 7th.
Huh.
Dead name, of course, you know what that is, the transgender stuff. Coronation, obviously. Deep fake. Dystopian, one of my favorite words. I love that when I think of Philadelphia. And covenant, usually a formal, solemn, and binding agreement, swelled on March 27th after the deadly shooting at the Covenant School. Maybe that's what resulted in that. But they give several covenants there. But authenticity. Yeah, we might do authentic
I have
tomorrow.
2 great tweets for you. First from Marcus Aurelius says, Bruce Springsteen, the all-time champion at fake authenticity. Maybe that's the side question. Who's a champion of fake authenticity?
Yes. That's now we're rolling. See, I like that.
Like Joe Biden's a great answer when he tries to do the, they were feeling the hairs on my legs, the blonde hairs.
Yeah. I still think Bill Clinton's a master because look, I've been around him once. You can't tell me whether he knows it or not. You know what I mean? He's an empathy machine. You feel like he's really feeling it.
And Weigh the Dice 77, going back to the clip of the TikTok mother, she says, or he or she says, that woman is telling my life story. 2-parent household, both working full-time jobs, kids, reasonable mortgage interest rate and payment, 1 car payment, just treating water, groceries with coupons and generic labels shouldn't cost $270 a week.
See, there you go. Yeah, he'd be able to do it.
You feel a lot, don't you?
All right. See, Bill Clinton would be able to, he wouldn't get himself boxed in like this, where he's responsible for something like
Now, look,
this.
darling, I know it's a little tough, but if you come down, I'll take care of this for you and your husband. And we'll just make this all, and we'll just keep this between us, and we'll just
All
have
right.
a good time. And hey, Merry Christmas.
There's somebody who cannot fake. I think she's more authentic than a lot of people, Dan, but she can't fake any of it. She has no personality.
I am a real person with.
Yeah. Well, Kamala Harris is a lot less authentic. And by the way, she had a gas stove, if you missed Friday's show, behind her in the picture she put out. Must have been the Venn diagram. She got confused. All right. Coming up, Scott Presler. Then we'll take your calls. He's coming to town. This is the guy with quite a track record in registering voters, mail-in ballots, getting people fired up. And he's coming to 10th and Venango. Wow. That is heavy duty. Dan, I got to be there for the first knock on the door. I have my little equipment to tape and out there. What kind of reaction will Scott get when he knocks on the door and says, hi, we're here from the Republican Party? That will be the first Republican that's knocked on that door in 70 years.
Get him out. Get him out of here.
Well, I'm not going to be doing the knocking. I'm just along as a fly on the wall here to see how I'm fascinated by what this guy's going to do. Coming to Philadelphia in the heart, that's North Philly, the heart of North Philly. Borders on Kensington. Why did they choose it? You'll find out next, and what he's up to and why this guy ought to be given a lot more resources. Put him in as head of the RNC. Oh, my God. 855-839-1210. You get in with Dom and Dan on Talk Radio 1210. It is Dom time. Welcome in. Scott Presler should be with us here momentarily. Coming to town on Saturday. And I've, over the years, had him on when he did the big cleanups originally. But I've never seen it in action. And I love the premise that they'll be going to places where a Republican is not engaged in maybe 60, 70 years. Let's see. That neighborhood, maybe at least 50, probably 60 years. Can you imagine? What are these guys doing here? Let's go to Scott on the Dom Giordano Show. Scott, welcome back to Philadelphia. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, thank you. Happy Monday.
Well, I follow you on Twitter constantly, and you have a great point today that Ronna McDaniel, who is supposedly our leader in registration, doing all these things, only has $9 million in the bank. DNC has a whole lot more than that. And you make the point that Virginia may have been doable. It came down to only a little bit there in a couple of races, and the RNC wouldn't give them the money maybe to push it over the top.
Well, it came down to 5,000 votes. A lot of people are highlighting that the Democrats control the Senate and the House in Virginia by one seat in each. But really, when you look at the numbers, we won as Republicans in Biden plus 9 districts. So the feat that Governor Glenn Youngkin accomplished in our Republican candidates is actually shockingly good in the Commonwealth of Virginia, a quote unquote purple state. But Joe Biden going into the election in 2023 ordered the DNC to put $1 million into those races. And when the Virginia GOP chairman asked for the same amount, because, optics matter, the RNC denied that money. And could that $1 million have pushed us into the camp that Governor Glenn Youngkin would control the House and Senate right now, or at least in 2024? Yes, it could have made the difference, but that's okay. Listen, we lead by example. I'm not only here to offer a problem. I'm here to be the solution. And that's why I'm here on your show to talk about our event next Saturday in Philadelphia.
So it's Saturday, as I understand it, Scott, 10 o'clock this coming Saturday at 10th and Venango. Do I have that right?
Yeah, it's 1810 East Venango Street, right in Harrogate.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, Harrogate. It's 1810. So it's not 10th. It's 18th in Venango.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, 1810 East Venango.
1810 East Venango. Now, that is Sam Orpeza country big time. Harrogate is not as bad as Kensington, I would say. I don't know if you agree with that or not, but it's Kensington-like. Why go there then? You saw people on your Twitter, I've been following through the weekend, saying, why waste your time in any place in Philadelphia, particularly there? Why there? Why is that chosen?
Well, number one, Sam called me and said, Scott, let's work together as a family. Let's get the job done. Let's bring our conservative values to places that the Republican Party hasn't been. And I so agree. Look at what we just accomplished this year in 2023. People aren't talking about this, Dom. In Pittsburgh, we won 49% of the vote in the county executive seat. This is a county similar, 2-1 Democrat in Allegheny County. The fact that Republicans nearly won this county-wide seat is phenomenal. And so we want to expand our outreach and our efforts. And you hear me loudly and clearly, to all of the naysayers, to all of the doom and gloom people, if we are able to win 25%, even 20% of Philadelphia County, we will win Pennsylvania, and a Republican president will be in the column of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
And if that happens, that will be the president of the United States. Whoever wins Pennsylvania, I'm convinced, Scott, they're going to win the presidency. The odds of them not are vast. And David O had 25%, as you often say, and that's right.
Exactly. So, and you know what? The only place to go from here is up. and I really mean this. I'm not saying this in a disparaging or disrespectful way. What do people have to lose? Look at Kensington. I look at the store closings every single day. Jobs are moving out. Businesses are moving out. There's crime. The violent crime is going up. Look at the drug epidemic. I mean, what really do people have to lose in Philadelphia? Try something new. Try our conservative values of faith, family, finance, and freedom. And I really see room for growth and opportunity.
So, Scott, what exactly will you be doing? Take me through it. Do you knock on doors? Are you training people? Exactly what
Yeah.
you bring in some, you're a heavy hitter in this, coming to 1810 Venango this Saturday. Take us through it. I'll be there because I want to chronicle it and tape you if that's okay. A little bit in your action. I will have to come up with an outfit because 1810 Venango, I'm doing an event. I have an event where I have to wear the suits, and I have a nice suit. I'm not wearing it there. I'm going to have to do a mix and match thing because it would look ridiculous there at 1810 Venango. What do you do, Scott?
Well, I don't know. Sam Marpiza's always wearing a suit, that MMA fighter we got, so you might just fit in.
Now, if that guy's there and tries to put me in a headlock, I want you to intervene because he did it in my studio. It was a sucker punch. My producer is looking at me right now. He can verify it. So, Scott, what do you do exactly?
Well, listen, we're bringing out new volunteers. So new volunteers means they need to be trained. So we're going to train them on how to knock on a door. And I know that sounds stupid, but there is a science to door knocking, to doing it in a respectful manner that we're earning people's votes. I am going to be going over mail-in balloting. Look, the Democrats both in 2022 and 2023 went into election day with 400,000 votes already locked in because of mail-in voting.
Yes.
If we are going to be successful, we must get people to sign up for the mail-in ballots. And you can do it annually. So they can sign up for not only the presidential primary that you guys are having in the spring, but then also for the November election. Boom. So the goal is to knock on Republican doors. We're not knocking on Josh Shapiro or John Fetterman doors. This is simply, we want people to know that there is a Philadelphia GOP. And we're going to knock on those doors that you said haven't been knocked on for 60 years to excite people, to energize the party, to revitalize it. And we want to grow it and invite people to join us, join our movement. And so it's door knocking, Republican doors, signing up for mail-in voting, volunteer recruitment. That is what is slated for Saturday.
Now, Scott, you're very visible. People know you. Do Democrats ever send operatives out to heckle you? And if so, what's your message back?
You know, I don't really get protested that much. I mean, look, I'm the guy that cleans up cities and gets rid of trash, and I, register voters. I mean, how can people dislike the guy that basically is going to make their cities a more beautiful place? So, I really don't get a hard time. Okay. But even when Democrats do come down, I'll tell you, I've actually won some of them over. When they see my enthusiasm, when they see my heart, when they see my pure intentions, I've actually been able to pick off some of those Democrats, and secretly they tell me, Scott, I'm on your side. So.
All right. So but give us your Twitter. And again, it's 10 o'clock this coming Saturday, 1810 Venango. Is there a landmark there? Or is it 1810? Is it? I think there's a shopping center there, maybe.
Well, I will be out there welcoming and ushering people in.
Okay.
We do have parking. We will be inside at the office. You can't miss me. I'm 6'5" with long hair and boots, and I will be ushering people in. But yes, my Twitter is at Scott Presler, SCOTTPRESLER. And I just want to make it clear that we're welcoming everybody. We're working with the college students there at Temple. We're working with a group of Philadelphia Muslim men that are going to be coming to join our event on Saturday. So really, this is for all stripes that want to make Philadelphia a better place to live.
So there are conservatives at Temple that are going to be coming here.
Yes. Yeah. I had the college students reach out to me, Scott, we want to help. So yes, we are going to have moms, blue collar, college students, MMA fighters. This is for everybody.
Scott can
Yeah.
hardly wait to meet you in person. It's been too long. You've done unbelievable work, particularly the cleanup idea and now this. And again, the point is how doable this is to win Pennsylvania.
Yeah, it really is. The one thing that I want to leave your listeners with, guys, is let's be joyous, let's be hopeful, let's be optimistic, and most importantly, let's put in the work required to win. It is doable. I would not be wasting my time on Pennsylvania if I didn't think that we couldn't win.
Well put. We know how much you demand you are. Scott, thank you. We'll see you this coming Saturday around 10 o'clock.
Oh, I'm so excited. See you there.
All right, Scott Presler, Dan, this is 6'5 Boots, the MMA. The Muslim men coming, I think, from Allentown. This guy draws and Temple conservative students.
So for a cross street, it's tough because
Yeah.
it's not near the numbers or anything. It's right. It's nestled in where there are no numbers. It's right at Venango and Kensington Ave.
Oh, okay.
About two blocks east of Harrogate Park. So if you're on Kensington Ave traveling northeast,
yes,
you're going to take a right onto Venango, and it's right past Ruth Street.
Okay, you can't go down Broad and turn right on Venango.
No, because it cuts off at Kensington here. Well, you could go down Broad. I'm sorry. Yes. Well, no. Venango's weird, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see that part of the city.
Where's
It's
Broad
just
at?
Yeah. When we used to come to your old house, and I tried to take Broad to go there. Oh my God.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna have to map out a secret.
I guess what you would do is you would take Broad to Lehigh, then take
Okay.
a Lehigh over to Kensington,
Right.
then take Kensington up until Venango and take a right onto Venango.
Okay. Well, at least it's not Kensington. It's Harrogate.
And it's where, gosh, this is confusing. You know where Venango turns into Glenwood Avenue and kind of turns off and continues Venango? That's where it is. It's right there.
See, that part of the city, whoever laid it out,
Yeah.
they were drunk.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's ridiculous. All right, so
K Street.
1810 Venango. Give me your impressions of Scott Presler. Is this guy too far outside the fold to give him some resources to do what he's doing versus what the Pennsylvania Republicans are up to? What new voters are they going after? Who are they targeting? Who are they showing, as he said, conservative values? All right, 855-839-1210. I promise you, Dan, on Monday, I'll have some good reaction when the door's knocked. It'll be interesting to hear the responses back and forth, like no one's ever been here before. That's and these the students knocking on the doors, they're the ones I would really want to see, and the Muslim leadership. Now, that's good. They might be helpful there. All right, 855-839-1210. Get in. Side question today. Hit us with that all-time favorite scene from a holiday film, a Christmas film. All right. As the weather gets colder, the NFL offers Stay Hot on FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's $150 if your team wins. Make your own bets. Choose from tons of pre-made bets in the app. And if you're thinking about joining FanDuel, no better time to get in on the action. I really like the FanDuel app. Easy to use, spreads, player props, all kinds of side bets. Just visit FanDuel.com/Dom, D-O-M. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL. You have to be 21 plus. Present in Pennsylvania. First online real money wager only. $5 pregame money line wager required. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, the Kenny countdown is on. By my mark, it's 36 days left of Big Jim Kenny. We count them down. Can you imagine when we get down near the last day, the legacy of the big man? Is he going to do anything that's a look back over his 8 years? What an anomaly. My God. How could there be a worse mayor? Well, let's go through here. Wilson Good is a mayor who bombed and allowed to burn down. He's a trifecta, Dan. He bombed his own citizens. He allowed the whole block to burn down. They didn't put it out. And then the guy that rebuilt
Completely dumbass idea.
Thank you, Mayor Nutter. They had all kinds of problems with it and had to bring in somebody else to rebuild the homes, as I remember it, after this guy built them. Now, that takes some doing. And yet, Philadelphia elected Mayor. Not only that, he had a bad TV. He said there was a lot of snow on the TV. He couldn't tell what was going on there. It was in May.
Didn't they rename the street that Move House was on to Wilson Good Ave or something like that?
They put up a monument to him there.
Oh my
Yeah, he
gosh.
blows up the neighborhood. He's just complete incompetence. Okay. Let me think of another.
Well, he was also mayor when they had the seat of Shinning Sea, wasn't he?
Yes, he was a mayor. And sadly, when you went into his office, I had to go in there once to interview. He had the 2 giant cans of Raid the secretary had on her desk. That's not a good look when you go into an office. Like there's some kind of problem there in City Hall.
Yeah, but can you? Yeah. I was gonna say, can you really control the roach infestation? But if
Well,
you're that dirty and there's
What did Rendell do the first days on the job? Got down on his hands and knees and was cleaning the bathrooms. I'm not
Wow.
making it up. You can Google it. Yeah. So there was Wilson Good. I'm sure there were other mayors that were horrible, but Wilson Good and Jim Kenny really Wilson Good never said, I don't want to be mayor anymore, as Jim Kenny did, laughing about it. I don't even want to be in this country. I want to go to Spain. Do they have Wegmans there? I don't know, Jim. We'll find out. Oh, my goodness. And then you have someone like Sherelle Parker, who is so energetic. Even if you differ with her on something, the energy to push things forward versus the lassitude of, and we both shared the same alma mater, Dan, LaSalle University, Jim Kenny and I. So there's that. What will he do after he's done as mayor, that last day? I can see him walking down the street. Who is this guy? Get him out of here. All right, we have a big 1 o'clock hour at 1:30. I let off telling you about Northampton. Think Bethlehem, places like that, Bethlehem, PA. Voting machine problems in 2019, they corrected them and say, look at the paper then, not the touchscreen as the outcome. And now in the most recent election, they had a meltdown. So our guest is the head of the Republican Party there. The Democrat Party, too, they agree. They want to get rid of the voting machine company, this EK&G or something. And if we're ever going to solve this, a sense that there is some degree of this is not stolen, et cetera, you're going to have to jump on problems like this. I'd have a czar in Pennsylvania going around as these things crop up and fixing them.
a czar.
Yeah, a czar.
Is there a better title?
Being a czar is a great thing. So we'll talk with him about all that. And at 2 o'clock, we really like this guy we had on about China a week or so ago. He's coming on today to talk about the digital dollar and all the mischief associated with it. How far, I know listeners are concerned, and I think the Biden administration is the one that wants this. Trump ought to be talking about this at some point when we get to a general campaign. All right, side question today. Hit us with that scene. Every one of these holiday films, unless they're really bad, has a couple of really good scenes at least. Tell us about that scene. You could be a winner to start the week off and get your name into the hat. Follow on Twitter, too, at Dom Show 1210. We'll read some more from Twitter, all coming up on Talk Radio 1210.